All right. Well, good evening, everybody. This is Robert Burns with the Space Coast Rocket, and we are continuing our series of one-on-one interviews with our candidates that are going to be on the ballot in August. And tonight we have Richard Hammer. How you doing, Mike?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm hanging in there. I'm hanging in there. Uh,
Awesome.
we- Go ahead.
I said awesome.
Good, thank you. What we did, we decided instead of doing your typical debates for this election cycle, is to do one-on-one interviews with the candidates to give them opportunity to give more substantive answers instead of getting in kind of a back and forth argument type thing. And it gives you more time to say what you want to say and answer the questions more fully. So we thought that would be more productive for the city and for the residents that are watching.
That's
Um,
great.
so, Mike, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself? Give us a brief overview about your background.
Well, my name's Richard Hammer. I go by Mike. Everybody knows me as Mike, but it's Richard Michael Hammer. I'm born and raised in Brevard County. Lived in Palm Bay. Lived in West Melbourne. Originally, my family was one of the founders of Melbourne and Palm Bay. My mother was Rhonda Platt, grandfather Toby Platt. So I've lived on a farm almost my whole life out off of 192 in West Melbourne. Other than that, I worked at the city for a long time. My grandmother worked for the city of Palm Bay. My father worked for the city of Palm Bay, and I worked for the city of Palm Bay until I discovered corruption. And there was a lot that was entitled into it. And I put in my 2 weeks notice, and I let them know if they do not fix it within that 2 weeks or let go of the people that were doing what they were doing, I was going to quit my job and I was going to fix it from the outside. And it was then I quit my job. And for the last 4 years, I've been learning my options. I know how this city works itself from being around it my whole life. So I know what the city can and can't do. I was also an executive to the Blue Collar Union,
Okay.
where I had to learn the position of every single employee that was in our union. And not only did I learn their position, I learned what their boss's position was, what their boss is supposed to do, and what every single person that is employed at the city of Palm Bay's actual job entails them to do. And I've just seen a lot of the things that's going on slip away. And there was nothing that was going to be fixed on the inside. So my only voice of reason was to quit my job and, do it from the outside. And so far, I've been pretty successful on a lot of things. I've brought over $100 million in new investment to Palm Bay, and unlike that, I'm doing that as a citizen. I'm not doing this as a council member. My journey started as a citizen. I'm doing things as a citizen, and whether I get elected or not, I'm going to still do it.
Yeah, I hear you.
This is somewhere my family lives. This is somewhere my grandkids are going to live. And, a city council spot's not going to let me do what I need to do. It's just going to help me do a little bit more.
And the second question, you kind of already went into it a little bit, and that's typically what happens with some of these questions is what motivated you to run for city council? Is there anything else you want to expand on that?
I would say the first thing that got me going is a lot of my property was eminent domain out there. And I started looking into politics and looking into why things happen that they do. And unfortunately, I found out there's a lot of things that our city, our county, our government does that they're not supposed to. And there's nobody that's knowledgeable enough to step forward and say, hey, this is wrong.
Right.
For the last 4 years, a lot of people in Palm Bay know I have been that voice that is coming forward and putting a lot of these things to a halt. I'm currently doing things standing next to our citizens. I've been on Fox 35 fighting next to citizens to stop things in their communities. I think we have an extremely long road ahead of us, and it's going to be a tough journey, but
Okay.
A lot
Well,
of these things, a lot of the people upset is what's motivated me to do this.
so going into a long road ahead, what would be the top three issues facing our city, and how do you plan to address them?
Well, the first one I would have to say is infrastructure. Our infrastructure is it doesn't exist. Our development is so high, it's almost impossible to drive anywhere in the afternoon or in the morning or anything else. We need to slow our development down a lot, and there's a few key ways to do that. My first one would be to address the impact fees. I think the impact fees, if you address them correctly, I can go into what they are and why they're going to affect the certain places for about an hour, if you let me. I'm not going to take up everybody's time, but I think impact fees can affect our infrastructure a lot. I think with our infrastructure as well, we're going to be able to bring a lot more money into our system if we are utilizing our staff correctly.
Right.
I think there's a lot of things that can be fixed on the inside, with saving money and actually having people in the positions that they should be in, instead of a lot of the consulting and outside staffing that we do.
Right. Okay. Um, how will you engage with and listen to the concerns of the city residents?
Last 4 years, I am out in the public all the time. I am extremely vocal on all social media sites. I would say altogether, I have about 100,000 followers on all my social media combined. A lot of people know me, and if they do, they know I'm always there to talk to somebody. I'll drive to their house. I sit for lunch. I do breakfasts. I would say around 165 people every single month, just talking to them, seeing what's going on. I think our city lacks we have a great PIO, and I think we lack the intel to get out to our city. I think when the city doesn't know what's going on, they expect the worst. And I
Right.
think that's where we're losing a lot of our city's people's trust, is because when they don't know what's going on, they're guessing.
Right.
So, and then when they make decisions or they don't make decisions, they never know until it's affecting their community.
And that kind of rolls right into the next question. The next question is, what strategies will you use to increase community involvement in the city decisions? Because a lot of times I see people on social media, on Facebook, asking questions that are things that have been covered, in city council meetings, things that have been covered in workshops,
Yeah.
then all of a sudden decisions are made and they're caught off guard. So how do you fix that?
Well, social media is huge, and I think we should be utilizing it a lot more than we are. As of right now, if you go to a city council meeting, there's not a lot of people there. I have 2 kids, so a lot of times I'll be sitting at home and watching them from home, and it's me and probably 6 or 7 other people, because you can see how many people are watching. Not a lot of people watch it, and I understand people have stuff to do, but I think social media wise, we should be doing a lot more. I think on the other side, there's a lot of staff in there that our staff should be interpreting everything we're doing a little bit more, and not how we are. As of right now, when they send out an email, it's basically, okay, we're going to look into that, and then you never hear back.
Right. Right.
I think we need to be more accountable for the things that we do, and we need to explain why we're doing them. Because a lot of times, I'm just going to give you a great example. Right now, one of the biggest hot topics with our infrastructure right now is the road between Malabar and Jupiter on Mitten Road. Well, right now, one of the biggest things that people are saying is, we're paving it. Why aren't we widening it?
Right.
Have you heard anybody tell them why they aren't widening it?
No.
Okay. Our road program actually allows us to R&R the street. So all we can do is fix the road itself that's there. The road program dollars are not allowed to be spent on expanding. When you're expanding, you have to use that out of our $2.75 million that we're given this year for our roads or out of our impact fees. So the road program can't be used to expand, only to fix what we have.
Right.
And things like that aren't told to the public. So the public, is sitting there blaming things on council and blaming things on staff when, when they see something like this, it's not explained.
Okay.
And
this one is the question is, what is your long-term vision for our city? And I know one of the biggest hot topics for the city of Palm Bay is the compound. And I know that you brought up something that you would like to see happen at the compound. But in addition to the compound, you can talk about that for a little bit, but also what is your long-term vision for the city of Palm Bay?
Okay, well, I'm going to start with my long-term vision. You and me grew up here in Palm Bay.
Right.
You and me played basketball in Lindbergh Park.
Yeah.
And I was at a point to where, I was 10 years old leaving my house, going almost a mile and a half away on foot, on bike, whatever, coming back home when it was dark outside. I can't do that with my kids now. That's nothing anybody can do anymore.
Right.
Our city is not what it was then, and I want that back. And I think I'm going to be able to do that with bringing a lot more positive things for kids to do. I want to bring PAL back. I want to bring a Boys and Girls Club here, or a YMCA. Going back to the compound, one of the things I've been working on with a guy named Justin is bringing BMX of USA here. BMX of USA is not only going to be a contributor on the BMX side, but it's going to be open to the public when BMX isn't using it. So I think that's going to be something huge. And not only just on the BMX side, it's going to be an open area as well. It's going to have an amphitheater. It's going to have a huge parking lot for food trucks. It's going to have an area for farmers market if you want to do it. It's going to have a lot of things that are bringing a positive change to the compound. Another person that I was speaking with is a guy named Chris, who owns a international drone racing team, and he's talking about having that for his home course for his drone racing.
Oh, for drones. Okay.
Yes, sir. And with that would possibly bring a lot of drone tech here, R&D facilities, and I think the compound area would be a great place for a tech sector. The thing is just having somebody that's going to have the initiative to reach out to these investors, to these companies, and let them know, hey, we have all this momentum moving forward. This could be a great place to start this. And right. In 2016, I was this close to having that drone company here, and we were responsible for bringing in Raytheon for the aqua development. We were responsible for bringing a lot of business here to Palm Bay in 2016, and that was just with me. I would go out and I'd make videos. I teamed up with Harris to get interviews with some of the people that work there to get a case study, and I sent it out to, or not me, but me and other people sent it out to a lot of businesses, and we got a lot of strong business here.
Okay. How do you measure the success of your initiatives and policies?
I wouldn't say there's a way to measure it. I'm one of those people to where I'm never done. I am never done. And I would say success, numbers, people being happy, safety. It's always, it's never going to go away. But okay. I think a lot of it's going to be just having the knowledge to do these things, and having the ability to put forward the effort to do it. I think right now we're at a stalemate with who's there, and we just need some initiative.
Okay. One of the things that people want to know about is what motivates people to do things. So the next question is, what are your core values, and how do they influence your decision making?
Well, the first thing is my core values are my kids. My kids are the first thing to me, and And in 20, 30 years, I want them to be able to look back and say that my dad helped me, helped the community. And a lot of that, a lot of that comes just from my family, my upbringing, and I would say loyalty. You have to be loyal to the people that you make promises to. Anybody that tells you if I make a promise, I keep it. And that's the main thing going forward is we need honest people that are going to come out and say they're going to do something and do it.
Okay.
It is really easy to say, hey, I'm going to fix the roads. But it's another thing to say, I'm going to fix the roads and this is how I'm going to do it.
Right.
A lot of my core values are I don't talk about something unless I can fix it. I'm not going to come out and say, hey, I want to do this unless I have a way to fix it. And
Okay.
I like to back mine with ability. So.
Okay. City of Palm Bay is the largest city in Brevard County, and with that, there's a lot of diversity within the city, and there's a lot of diversity within the council itself.
Mm-hmm.
So, how do you plan to handle conflicts or disagreements within the city council itself?
Well, with every conflict is a resolution. There is always a way to fix something. And my 9-to-5 job, I actually do customer service where I go around the area. And if there's ever a problem within my whole territory, I'm the person that fixes it. When it comes to diversity, we are incredibly diverse. One of my first things when I got started working in the community was I spent about $30,000 to $40,000 out of my own pocket to work with underprivileged Haitians in the community. I would get them to find jobs, get them to do the things that they felt were their talents, especially music. I took a big part in music and helping Haitians get their Roku started here.
Right.
I worked with a guy named James Paul to get to send stuff over to Haiti once they found it here.
Yeah.
And a lot of it, I was doing free music for people. I would do their music videos for free, just so they can do them and have something to be proud of and happy about.
Yeah.
And I think if you take the initiative to get out of your comfort zone and put yourself in their shoes, I think every single conflict can be resolved. And you just can't be stuck on yourself. You have to understand people have feelings. And I mean, it is awesome to be passionate about something. I love that more than everything. If somebody is mad about something, it's because they're passionate about it. And if you approach any kind of situation with that way of thinking, you're going to be just fine.
Okay. In this race, so you're running for City Council seat 2. The incumbent is Councilman Donnie Felix.
Yes, sir.
And there's another challenging candidate, Patrick McNally. So there's 3 of you in this race. So the top 2 will be going to the general election unless somebody gets at least 50% plus 1 during the 20th election. So the question is, why should voters choose you over your opponents?
Well, I don't know a lot about McNally. He is new. I think he jumped in on qualifying week.
Mm-hmm.
So I really don't know a lot about him, other than he's just somebody new that lives in Palm Bay. Donnie Felix, I feel is an amazing man. He's a nice guy. He is somebody that everybody loves, and I get that. I understand that. Like I said, I've made a great friendship. I wouldn't say a friendship with him, but a relationship with him to where we have conversations and we discuss things. But
I think we lost your video there. You still there with us?
all right, are you there? Sorry, somebody called.
That's all right.
Okay. So on the backside of that, I look. I'm a football coach. I've been a football coach for 22 years, and I always look at things as a sport. And I would say if I had a baseball team, and I need it's the eighth inning, and I need somebody to get up there and hit a home run. I'm going to put in the person that knows more about the city and knows more about how things work and is more down for what the people of Palm Bay need than a baseball player that's just really a nice guy.
Fair enough.
And I think Palm Bay's gotten into a groove to where they're electing people that are like really nice people. But when it comes to being qualified and like knowing how things work and knowing how the city functions, knows when there's an emergency, here's where it goes, or here's where the water goes, here's where you're supposed to be at, here's everything that goes on.
Right.
And I don't think we have a lot of that experience up there, where I was at Public Works for 14 years. So anything that happened within the city, I mean, I started as one of the guys that cleaned out the culvert pipes, and I made it up to one of the procurement people in fleet services. So I had been around Public Works, and my dad was there for 30 years, and the city of Palm Bay at that time was like a family. So I mean, at one time I could tell you every single person's name at the city. Now there's a lot of people new there. But like I said, he's a great guy. I'm sure he has the best intentions, and he's extremely, extremely intelligent. I just think when it comes to knowing how the city works and having a lot of what the residents feel with the development slowing down and letting the infrastructure catch up, I think I'm more as to what the city feels in that.
Okay. All right.
You'll never hear me say anything bad about somebody. I mean, I respect everybody that sacrifices their time, their family, their life for this. And I think I could do a lot to help. I have a lot of knowledge on things that aren't happening that should be happening. A lot of programs that have gone away due to it being difficult or somebody not knowing how to do it.
Right.
And it needs to come back. And that's one of the things that's hurting the city the most.
Where can people find you? Where can they find more information about you and your campaign?
I am out and about all the time. My email is hammerthecorruption2024@gmail.com. I'm also going to be out at the 5th of July celebration at the fireworks celebration at the college. So,
okay. All right. Anything else you want to add? Let people know before we go.
I do want to say thank you for taking the initiative to do this. It's really tough to put your face out here in the media, and take the hits we do. I really appreciate you reaching out and doing this, because a lot of people in the city don't even know who I am, and they're voting for people because, hey, he's really nice, and it's going to get really nice people up there, and our taxes are still going to be 9%.
Well, the purpose of building this Space Ghost rocket was for the community.
Yeah.
So that's, if we're not using it for the community, then I don't know what we're doing.
Well, my purpose is to bring business to Palm Bay, get our taxes back down, get our millage rate back down. And the only way to do that is to bring good, strong, smart business here to Palm Bay. And Dollar Generals and car washes and stuff isn't going to do it. When I take my wife out at night, it's hey, where are we going to go? Guess where we're going to go? We're going to go to Melbourne. Yeah. I have a whole strategy I've thought of for the last 4 years. It's called the Palm Bay Sustainability Plan, and we need to be a self-sustaining Palm Bay.
Yeah.
You know, when I come home, I need to be going out somewhere and spending money in Palm Bay instead of spending it in Melbourne. You know, when we hire contractors and we hire all these other people, we need to be hiring these people that are within Palm Bay. So we're keeping Palm Bay money in Palm Bay money. There's a reason why the city of West Melbourne's taxes are 1.4% millage rate, and ours is like 7 something. And then when you get our road program and our stormwater bond, we're close to 9%. And the only way to stop that is bringing smart business in here. And I think we can do it. We have the ability to do it. There's not another city in the whole eastern coast of Florida that has more potential than Palm Bay. I mean, we have the easiest sales plan in the world. We have the Indian River right next to us, and we have open land. So, and we have a really, really good comprehensive plan. We just need to learn how to follow it. Our comprehensive plan is right on key. Whoever made that did a great job. We just need to have our staff make sure that they follow it and bring these strong, great businesses to Palm Bay.
David Kearns made a comment that my camera's running for seat 2. That's correct. There was a typo on the original Facebook event, but that's been corrected. He is running for seat 2, not seat 3.
Yeah.
Again,
I thought David made something out at the compound. I'm glad that he's taken that initiative too. Thank you, David.
Yeah. Well, again, this is an opportunity that we're offering to everybody who's running. Everyone that's a candidate in the county should have got a email from me. If you did not and you want to participate in this, just send us a Facebook message or reach out to me directly and we'll get you lined up. There's no charge. There's no nothing. There's no gotcha questions or setups or anything like that. This is just your opportunity to, plead your case to the voters. So we're offering that from now till Election Day. And thank you for coming on, Mike.
And anybody has any questions or anything, please feel free to reach out. My phone number is 321-821-8889. That is my personal number. I've given that out for the last 10 years to people in the community to help them. And anything I can do, like I said, this isn't going to stop if I get elected or not. So even after the election, if there's something that you don't like happening in your community, I am there.
All right. Richard, Mike Hammer, running for Palm Bay Council seat 2.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Bye.